You've got the red of Ferrari, the black and gold of Lotus, but what would be the most famous racing livery? Well, many people would suggest it's the strange combination of duck egg blue and orange that says Gulf Oil, the Ford GT40 and the Porsche 917. And after the feature film Le Mans, it's a livery that also says Steve McQueen. Cinema goers would tell you it was Steve McQueen that won the 1970 Le Mans, when in actual fact it was Richard Atwood in a factory Porsche. But he's not bitter.
Oh, not for me at all. I mean, I was majorly in that film because that was made in '71 and it's based on 1970. And I had quite a bit of time that year because I was winding down my career. So I had a lot of time to help Steve make the film. So I was all for it. They paid me very well too. He was, well, he was a man's man, he was a girl's man, of course, as well. He was just a fantastic character, very keen. He was really enthusiastic to make the film.
What are your memories of 1970 as well?
We were in a very slow car relative to the other cars. At the beginning of the race, I thought we hadn't got a chance because we had a 4.5 sort of 5-litre. Qualifying, we were sort of towards 20th fastest. And I just realised that we couldn't surely have problems with all those cars in front to win it. But that happened, and in fact, after only 10 hours, we were in the lead. And we then had that, the most difficult thing was defending that lead to the end. And of course, it was terribly, terribly wet.
It was 1969 that this livery got its Le Mans breakthrough with Jackie Oliver, of course, behind the wheel. What do you remember of how this livery actually came about?
The Gulf Oil Company was quite a small American oil company as far as oil companies go. And the CEO was a guy called Grady Davies. Now, he was one of these old oil guys, was a real rough and ready guy. And his personality and background, when he said, this car's got to be a specific colour, it's got to be duck egg blue, which is more appropriate for a baby boy than a race car. And of course the orange came from the Gulf logo. But I mean, now it is one of the most iconic liveries of any sponsorship program that I can remember.
Down the years, what did that orange and duck egg blue come to mean, especially around Le Mans?
It was amazing, wasn't it? I mean, you know, it's part of the great history of Le Mans, that orange and blue, as you say. And, you know, it didn't race that many times there, but my goodness, with the GT40s, the 917s, and then with the Mirage, it was fantastic, wasn't it?
What sort of intimidating effect might it have had on the opposition? You see that livery coming up in your mirror.
Well, they knew it was coming in a hurry, and they knew that it was run by the greatest team in the world. That was John Wyer. They knew that we were always in a chance to win, and that was the amazing thing with the Gulf Porsche, which I basically drove, and of course the Gulf Mirage afterwards. We always were there with a chance to win. I mean, even when we were against the factory Ferrari cars, in the sports cars in the early 70s, I mean, they were really stronger than us, had a great team of drivers. But of course, you know, our team was just so smart, so on the ball when it came to pit strategy and that sort of thing.
It's a colour scheme then that may well offend interior designers, but the colours were reunited at Le Mans this year as Aston Martin took victory in the GT1 class. Orange and duck egg blue, a strange combination, but a winning combination. After the break, it's Superbikes at Goodwood. We'll visit the Cartier Style Luxe design competition, celebrate 50 years of the British Touring Car Championship, and Amanda will be hitching a ride with a true rally legend. So many anniversaries are being celebrated here this weekend, including 60 years of Porsche. And this is the Porsche 908, built specifically for races like the Targa Florio and the Nürburgring 1000K. And it's going to be taken up the hill by our host this weekend, Lord March. And sir, I don't know how familiar you are with this car, or what are you about to learn taking it up the hill?
Well, I've driven it once or twice before, Steve. Not too well yesterday, so I'll try and make a better job of it this time. But it's a wonderful car. It's well, I'm a great Porsche fan, and this is one of the all-time greats. And if you're going to pick any car for the job of going up the Goodwood Hill, this is probably the one. So I've got the pick of the bunch, and you know, handles beautifully. It's very, very light. It's breathtakingly quick, and you sit right over the front axle, so you don't want to hit anything. But it's the perfect car for the job.
From a 1970 Porsche racer to the very latest 2008 models, let's join Amanda down by the house.
The Supercar Run has become a motor show with a difference, because you still get a number of world and UK debuts for your entry ticket, but here you also get to see and hear the cars in action on the track. With so much to choose from, where do you start? In supercars at Leeds, the British car marques are still flying the flag, from the Brecklin Biera to the more familiar names of Aston Martin and Jaguar, while the American-designed electric Tesla Roadster is built by Lotus in the UK.
I've just come up in the Maserati Gran Turismo S, which I do have to admit I think is one of the most beautiful cars ever to be designed. So, no, it's the first time I've driven her, and she's got a nice little throat, sounds great, and handles very nicely, and also looks the part. So, no, I'm very chuffed.
It's not only supermodels, as even Le Mans winners appear behind the wheel on the Supercar Run.
Yeah, the Audi R8, to be honest, it's got the same sort of racing blood through it as the actual R8 race car and also the R10, because, in fact, the shell design of this car was done by the guy that did the R8 racing car that won them all so many times. And so from that point of view, there's definitely a good feel about it. And as a balance to come up the hill, it's superb. It was really, really nice coming up to the flint wall, and then just a quick left-right flick, and then off you go again with the big V8 throbbing behind you.
The centrepiece of the Goodwood Festival is usually some amazing structure or display outside the main house, which celebrates one manufacturer in particular. This year we're celebrating 60 years of Land Rover with an amazing structure which can only be described as a metal boulder outside the main house. Jerry Judah is the architect, the sculptor, do we describe you? And John Cutlack, you're the engineer who had to put it together. Did you have the tougher job?
I always like to say yes, actually, Steve, because I think at some point in time, Jerry likes to say, it's over to you, John, and we have to get on with it and make the thing work. But I think on this year, we really did sit down and spend a lot of time sketching ideas around and looking at what the possibilities were for Land Rover.
And Jerry, you put these structures together before for the Goodwood Festival. This is a lot closer to being a bit of sculpture, though, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the thing with all the previous sculptures is that I want to celebrate engineering, because in a way that is what these cars do. They're engineered, they're high performance, and I think to display them they should be high performance too. This time I think with Land Rover they're not about speed, they're about what they can do and the different terrains they can go over, and in a way that's what I wanted to put them on a platform which makes it look like they can only do this and nobody else can, and I suppose that gives it its sculptural quality.
You've had climbers going up and down it over the course of the last 3 days, but how has the public in general received it?
Those guys take it a little bit further, and I love that. And I think it'll be a long time in the memories of everybody who comes to the festival. I think that's really what's important.
Bikes can't be timed at Goodwood. It's all about putting on a show and meeting the crowds. I caught up with TT legend John McGuinness at the Dunlop stand in the stable yard. John, it's great to see you here at Goodwood and getting so close to all the fans.
Yeah, I'm absolutely really enjoying it. Again, it's been half a dozen times and it's just as busy as ever. Sold out this morning, coming in the car, just really buzzing. Looking forward to it. I've had a couple of runs up the hill on the bike and just had good fun. Get close to everybody and interact with the fans. Different motorsport fans everywhere. Don't get any better than that, I don't think.
The guys at Honda Britain here have been kind enough to let me ride one of their machines up the hill here. This feels like a big street bike compared to the things that I was riding back then, but if it had indicators and lights on, it'd be perfect.
It's really dusty, I guess, all the rally cars and stuff flying around on the grass and bring it all onto the road, but I didn't expect it to be too grippy anyway, but it was a bit... As soon as it set off, it just went sliding everywhere. Oh, here we go.
It's been good to put on a good show for everyone up here, and been sort of saving the tyre just for the last run today, do a bit of a burnout, so it's fantastic. The crowd loved it, so it's good.